It is 2 p.m. Welcome back to the Sports Arena Sentosa, the official tournament arena for the Kopiko Purple League. I'm used to saying it's 3 p.m., but of course it's a weekend, which means that the timings are slightly different for all the matches. My name is Jeevan Selvanathan. Sitting again next to me, I'm very honored to have with me Donald Spears. He's going to be joining me for all the badminton for the next 2 ties. Donald,
hi,
how are you doing? And first up, we just have to talk about an amazing match that happened this morning, the 10 a.m. ties. Why you should get down here early. Look at that. Bangsa Hawks have come away with their first ever tie win in the Kopiko Purple League. They were rooted at the bottom of the table. And look at that. Look at those scores. A really good performance from them. Came out with a strong 3-love. Zulfadli over Syed Akbar Shah. Then there was a 3-1 for PV Sindhu over Febi and Guni. Upset there as well. Charas did come back with Lutfi and Razif in the men's and mixed doubles, but then another strong win for Lo Kian Yu, and very close in the last tie, means 13-10. Congratulations to Bangsa Hawks. It just goes to show you that it isn't all set in stone, and that actually moves them because they played, of course, the first match of the 7th match day off the bottom of the table.
Yes.
What a confidence booster that must
Coach
be.
Saman will be really happy with that, and I think that's a good testament to his strategy of bringing in some new players, but also reminding his players to fight, because the difference in the match between the two teams was the fact that Bangsa Hawks, even in losing games, managed to score some crucial games.
That's it. That's what it's all about.
Which got them the victory in the tie in the end. And
of course, another interesting comparison that needs to be made. The Kopiko Purple League is all about established players versus unknowns versus development players. Well, Noor Azrin Ayub has to be taken as a relative unknown. He's a men's singles player. Liu Darren, of course, a known star and an established name. Well, if we compare their stats now based in regard to that win, well, Noor Azrin has had 4 matches played so far in the Kopiko Purple League, 2 singles with 1 loss in the singles and 1 doubles, because he has been paired up into a doubles pairing. Liu Darren, on the other hand, 4 matches, 3 singles, 1 loss. So altogether for Noor Azrin's 11 games, he's lost 5. For Liu Darren, 11 games, lost 4. And if you think about the difference in terms of their ranking, that just goes to show it. There are hidden stars right in the middle of the Kopiko League that are waiting to be discovered. As you can hear our on-court MC, JD, who is introducing our teams. This is match day 7. And this is going to be a very strong tie indeed. Kepong versus Puchong United. Big names on both sides of the net, Donald. We'll just get to that after the teams get introduced.
Live Beijing. Wong Fai-yin. Agripina Prima Ramato Putra. Lim Chiu Xian. Liu Darren. Coached by Lee Winnie. Manager Irina Inozemtseva. Now for the home side, scream for Kepong BC! Led by your captain, Tan Moon Hyang! Oh, Yao Han! Chong Wei Fei! Vita Marisa! Andre Adesia! Woon Man-chun! Chua Kek-wei! manager Samuel Nessa. There you go, ladies and gentlemen, the two teams on the side, Puchong United BC and Kepong BC.
Our two very strong teams for the afternoon tie on the first day of match day 7. Kepong versus Puchong, and as is tradition around here, we're just about to hear from the two managers.
Managers, here with me.
They're just going to be joining JD on court. Let's find out what they're predicting for these 6 matches that make up each Kopiko Purple League tie.
All right, down here with the team managers before the start of the match. Firstly, let's exchange pennants, managers. All right. Now let's have a chat with them before the start of this match. First, with the home side, Kepong BC boss team, Samuel Nelson. Just 12 games, if you look at games difference, just 12 games separating the two teams right now. Where do you feel the big wins are going to come for your team today?
I think that all the games are really close. This is really hard to call. All the games are really close. I think Tan Boon Hyung and Ao Yao Han in the last doubles, that's a strong pairing. And we also have a strong pairing in the mixed doubles. But I think apart from that, it's evenly matched all the way through.
Thank you very much, Sam. Now over to Irina Inazemtseva, team boss of Puchong United BC. You're fielding the exact same team that played Nusa Jaya. Are you feeling as confident of winning, or are you worried about a few matches here and there?
Well, for the last time, I was not that sure confident for our lineup because we made a few changes. But the players had performed really best for the last tie, so we want to maintain the same team spirit for this time.
I like that. Thank you very much. All right, before we start, team managers, shake hands one more time. Let's go. Over to you in the Ivory Court commentary box. Let's start.
That is interesting, Donald, that they were just playing on Thursday, of course, at the end of match day 6. And this is not only the exact same lineup, but it's also the exact same positions for each of the players to be playing. Yeah,
but interestingly, Sam Mason changing the lineup for Kepong. Not playing Ai Wei Jen, who had a good start to his match against Wong, but tired towards the end, and maybe he's resting that player to give the chance to Nur Azarine.
So we've got Liu Darren taking on Nur Azarine Ayub in the first singles. And as I said, from the difference in their national standings, they have pretty much the similar Kopiko Purple League stats, simply because Nur Azarine has also shown himself to be a little bit more versatile and has tried at least playing in a doubles pairing.
Well, this is really a fascinating encounter. Nur Azarine, of course, the younger player, less established on the circuit, but on his way up in the rankings. He's moving in the right direction, and he's still finding his feet whether or not he's playing singles or doubles. But manager Sam Nason has kept faith with him in singles, understanding that he's got so much energy around the court. Technically, still a lot to learn compared to
and that's exactly
Liu Darren.
That's exactly where Liu Darren will have the extra edge. Now, but if you look at this, if you look at the matches that were played on Thursday, Liu Darren, one of the players this week that actually managed to come through his 3 games with a sub-10 unforced error count. He was on 9 unforced errors from, I remember, 48 points that he played. Azarine Ayub, the younger player, would be expected to make more unforced errors. Perhaps this match will come down to that unforced error statistic. If not, of course, Azarine will be the hungrier player, wanting to make his mark. But as we said earlier, both of them with pretty similar stats already in the Kopiko Purple League. And one of them is a lot less ranked.
And also, of course, Liu Darren playing on Thursday last, so that's only 2 days ago. So I wonder if freshness might come into this. Azarine hasn't played, I think, for a week or so at least. And maybe he is going to feel a little bit fresher as this match goes on. But fascinating to see these two completely contrasting styles. Liu Darren will be very compact on court, using a lot of power in his wrist and arm to flick shots and push shots.
Azarine will be looking for that smash every time he can.
Yes, we've seen that from Azarine. He overcame Syed Akbar Shah, and also the younger Yik from, I think.
Yep, so we Yik,
yes. So this is going to be a fascinating encounter today.
And lots of those other angles involved as well. And the fact that there might be a bit of fatigueness, but unforced errors really has been the name of the game, not just for points, but also games and matches in a tie. That's what's been dictating their positions in the Kopiko Purple League table. And we did see the other day the highest, in fact it was on Thursday, the highest amount of unforced errors committed in a match. That was 40, and that was by Chan Reng Chong and Lim Kim Hwa, I think it was. No, it was before that. But in the end, 40 is not the number that you should be looking for. Somewhere at plus 10, we saw Hafiz Hashim come out with 7 out of 50 points. Andrea Distia came out with Mei Shi Li, and that was 9, around 51 points. These are good platforms to build an attacking game off. Azrin, well, I'll be honest with you, I can't remember exactly how many unforced errors he committed in his last match. We'll see if that's one of the factors. But if he gets his game on, then he can outpower Liu Darren. So Liu Darren's, well, before the Kopiko Purple League, all of these names would just be established in the order and in the media, and you take it for granted that that was them. They were the national number 2, number 3, number 4. Right. Now they have to actually put their game down on the court and show it.
And this will be a testing encounter for Liu Darren. He will be nervous about playing this young opponent, because it doesn't matter how he plays. His opponent will have so much energy, 21 years old, and will just give it a real shot. And Sam has been very good in his tactics, just telling the young players to not think about the match and do their best.
Let's see what happens. So Liu Darren looking to make an statement of intent early, but it's wide.
A little bit of a loosener from Liu Darren, not finding the mark cross court.
I think warm-up shots on for at least the first 4 or 5. Finding range.
You can't afford to warm up for too long in Purple League. That's 2 points gone, and 11 points to win the match for Azrin. Their first game for Azrin.
And there's another unforced error.
1-2.
So many big names turning up on either side of the net today. So this is where things might be. As I said, so far all the points have been from unforced errors. Both players trying to set up their games. And another one.
Service over. 3-2.
But there is already a change in that we would have expected Azrin to come up with more of them. You can just see in the movement of both the players that Azrin is shuffling a bit more and Liu is bounding and lunging a bit more.
Yes, I think it might be a little bit lack of experience for Azrin in singles in his movements compared to Liu Darren. Of course, 6 or 7 years his senior, always been a singles player, and he really knows his way around the court, knows when to move quick and when to stay compact and wait for the opportunity.
Well, Azrin opting to play from mid-court. And that net exchange, and that's his big weapon. And it worked.
Yes, it did work. Powerful, powerful smash. Forcing the defensive return from Liu Darren.
One of
really
those
nicely
smashes.
placed. Got a lot of angle from the back of the court. And just forced the cross-court winner.
Now we're getting some winners. Azrin with a net winner there.
If Azrin can just force his opponent into lifting the shuttle every now and again, there's a chance for Azrin.
Definitely. And there's shots like that which immediately force a lift. That one just behind Azrin, so he couldn't get into his smash action. And the net lets him down.
Service over. 5-4.
But already this turning into an intriguing contest. 5-4 to Darren. You saw the reaction there from Darren when he missed that. He has to play everything absolutely perfectly.
Yes.
He knew it.
Just didn't hit the sweet spot on the racket, it sounded like, and he knew it.
The drums of Kepong. Off to my right.
Oh,
so far, that real winner has only come from Azrin at the net. That was a follow-up from his smash. Everything else has been a tail of the net tape. It has been unforced error.
You see Lou Darren just trying to work the movement on his opponent, pressuring him on the forehand side. And he was unfortunate not to get something in that exchange.
Yeah. Slipped a bit there. Nice, he knew very smart play indeed. Going for those difficult net tumbles just there as opposed to lifting it. He'll be well aware of Azrin's smash now. It's already let in one of those points. It's a smash that's so hard, it's either going to win the point, hit the floor, deflect off your racket, but pretty good chance it's not coming back. That's in. That's the second one.
Service a little bit high from Lou Darren there. And
more of a net push.
Azrin able to punch and attack. A couple of times he's done that. It's come off well.
And with that, he takes the lead 7-6. So far, admirable performance again. Oh, was caught out there.
Service over, 7-all.
Well, it's 7-7 here, and
there's
it's
nothing
interesting.
Really,
nothing too much between the players, but you sense in the open play passages, Lou Darren has been more controlling of his opponent.
Yeah.
Azrin more tending to snatching, getting points where he can.
Now, that kind of pattern of play, and if it kept going for the next 2 sets, would mean that this man here would tire a lot easier, because Lou Darren essentially going through his national training and just pacing himself, looking for attacking points, trying to make the most of them. There's that smash, and it's too much to deal with.
Actually, a little bit short from Lou Darren, but deadly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gets his full shoulder round behind that one, undefendable.
We've been talking about both in separate games and separate matches against different opponents. We've been talking about the strength of Azrin's smash and the competence of Lou Darren. As I said, just 9 unforced errors from him in his whole last match that he played out on Thursday. He's already up to 4 here. Five now, and that's just from forcing the issue and trying to really play the most acute angles he can, because he knows that's what he needs.
He's having a go from towards the back of the court. Not successful on that occasion.
Yep, much tougher opponent this time round. He's called in.
10, game point, 7.
No, he was out, it was long. So, game point, 10-7 to Azrin Ayub. The long serve gets killed, yes. Impressive performance.
First game won by Kepong BC, 11-7.
And the stats are
good
beginning
time
to comment,
play a very deceptive flick serve. Absolutely caught out Lou Darren. Maybe
had to go for the backhand clear. Was always going to be a bit high, and he knew he could kill it from there. Well played.
Well played to Azrin. He took his chances when he had them. And in the end, kept his cool in the last phase of the first game to race away and take the first game from Lou Darren.
James Chua and Lee Winnie either side of the net, talking to their players. But with their difference in status, those chats will be, I'm sure you can tell, a little bit different. James Chua very proud of his player. And you can't really fault Lou Darren for what he did there. He didn't really make any mistakes. As I said, these were really unforced errors that were a result of aiming for the smallest possible margin, because he knew that's what he'd need against a player like Azrin, and very few lifts as you'd expect. He's always trying to keep the shuttle very low over the net.
Well, Azrin is a very dangerous opponent, and Lou Darren's going to have to keep with that control and pressure that we saw in the first game, in the first exchanges of points, but also he needs to be more aggressive also. He needs to take some more of his chances. We saw him fire on a couple of occasions, but miss. And if he can start to hit some of those interceptions, then maybe that won't be effective for him.
I've seen him a great many times last year, and he's usually the kind of player that, as I said, would rather force errors into your game than take the killing shots. But he's facing a different type of shot now. He's facing deeper shots, he's facing faster shots, as we saw from his attempted return of that smash in the first game. Some of these shots might be too much for him, so that might not be the best strategy, as you said, Donald. Probably a good idea if he started adding a few jump smashes, movements, rushes to the net, punching, change the tempo of the point.
And again, let's not forget that Lou Darren only played 2 days ago against a very experienced opponent, Alan Tai. Managed to overcome him, but I wonder if that's affecting his performance here today.
Might be. The smash wasn't the most powerful.
2-1.
And another fantastic match to kick off the afternoon session, though.
You also see the experience of Lou Darren. He's a game down in the match, but you don't see any sense of frustration. You don't see any losing the head, keeping his cool, playing his game. They were exactly the right way to get back into the match. That's a great drive.
That's a brilliant
down
drive.
The baseline.
From deep as well. Had to keep it low and flat, and
absolutely
he did.
Perfect.
And there are a couple more extra steps, as you can see, from Azrin as he moves around.
4-1.
And that's one thing you can be certain that Lou Darren's going to make him do, is move around the court. So 4-1.
There's that backhand smash from Lou Darren.
This is more of that attacking flair that we've seen building on a few unforced errors, and now he's really pushing the point home.
We've really seen Lou Darren a couple of times in the Kopiko Purple League just hammer down backhand smashes. Surprising speed and strength, and on that occasion again, really nice shot to pressure Azrin.
5-1, and that was Azrin Ayub's parents here to watch their son. Very nice. He gets good length on it, he gets good accuracy on it, and good power on it. And a very short lift.
It wasn't a bad lift from Lou Darren, but Azrin was just waiting for it.
Yeah.
And put it in the right spot. Great defense from Lou Darren.
It was.
Straight down on the floor. Chance to come back, and he takes it.
So, again, both players now pushing the attack from the baselines. And those unforced errors, which you'd expect the younger player, Azrin Ayub, to be racking up. Well, it's currently tied up at 7 apiece. In fact, pretty much all the stats are tied up, except that Azrin has had 2 game points. And there's been a couple more smash winners to Lou Darren. So
that was a loose shot from Azrin. He just put it straight into the high forehand of Lou Darren. Those are nice shots when you get them.
Yeah. But that's the exact area which both players are trying to avoid, because they know that the opponent has the skills. Backhand clear doesn't work.
Service over. 3-7.
Chance now for Aswin to get back in.
Play leg.
They're just not ready there.
Server has to always be ready for these serves in badminton. Saw a lot of umpire intervention just the other day on Thursday. It's out. So this game really coming down to the margins. And that's going to aid Aswin Ayub, who of course is one game up already, winning it 11-7.
But it's nice to see Aswin just taking his time. As a young player, we've seen a lot of the youngsters just getting frustrated, rushing points, but Aswin calm, thinking about the next shot.
Great return. It's long, he left it well. That was,
yeah, again,
great decision making.
Liu Darren is doing the right things in his passages of play. He's controlling his opponent, working opportunities, but then just occasionally making errors at the crucial points.
That one's wide as well.
Service
He
over.
is still ahead in the unforced errors, and that's
5.
another good. I said he's already made more unforced errors than he did in that entire match against Alan Tai. But that doesn't mean that his game is failing. It means that he's just facing a more aggressive opponent that's forcing more difficult shots from him.
Liu Darren's made more mistakes in this match than Aswin, but that was a poor net shot to give a really strong advantage to Liu Darren in this second game.
He is ahead, let's not forget. And that's
And
in,
again,
so
yes,
that
that's
gives
a
him game point.
A little bit of a naive lift from Aswin. He got punished on a similar shot earlier.
And I was going to say how it would have been interesting to see how Liu Darren would have reacted to being 2 games down. It's not looking very likely here now. He should take one of these game points. And he does, the first one. So 11-6.
Second game won by Puchong United BC 11-5. 1 game
Oh, sorry, 11-5. 1 apiece, and looking good, both of them. I think we could see, based on the tie list, Samuel Nason and Irina Inepsova have come up with just a really impressive lineup. Lim Chuxian and Yang Lilian. Well, Chuxian came through on Thursday 3-1. Lilian, of course, lost to that new Chinese player, Yang Teiji. And then we've got Agrippina and Marcus Kido. Well, they were straight winners. We'll look at the match winners here for Liu Darren. All nicely grouped, nicely spaced, and definitely playing in that mid to baseline area as opposed to winning anything at the net, because he wasn't too comfortable with the drop shot, doesn't want to lift it too high over the net in case it gets killed. Saw that happen once. So game plays and strategies in place for the national setup player. Pretty much everything to play for Aswin Ayub.
Liu Darren just playing a pressuring game for his opponent, trying to make him move around the court, but not really trying to dominate the net at the moment. Maybe not taking on the risk.
Exactly, he has to play exactly the right type of shots at the net. That one's out, so
1 love.
now I wonder if in this game he will try and use Aswin's game against him. It's 10-all on unforced errors now.
Let's hit the tape as it went over.
Anybody's game.
1-all.
You always take those pieces of luck, and now Aswin has the initiative.
Net infraction there?
No fault called. So Azrin was just waiting for one of Liu Dan's returns, which just led to a quick exchange, but in the end, nice control from Liu Dan at the net. A good follow-up.
And it was actually the shuttle that hit the net. That's why it moved. That's why no infraction called. So, but again, Liu Dan looks like every time he moves towards the net, he's not going to be lifting it at all. It's going to be either a kill or a tumble.
Quite a sensible strategy.
Yeah,
given what we've seen how Azrin can attack.
Not taking any chances at having net kills and huge smashes coming back at him.
He's forced into the lift there, but
he knew it was behind him, so.
Oh,
and then his own smash, yeah. So now this is where
Azrin at full stretch couldn't reach it. In the end, Azrin had to lift.
Now that confidence in each of their games, while Azrin seems to be cracking a tiny bit, just a tiny bit, whereas Liu Dan has been 100% solid so far. Game down or tied up, he's bringing exactly the same game to the court.
Thank you.
Azrin seems to be moving a little bit more jittery, but
yeah, and that last shot, credit to Liu Dan, he really disguised his smash perfectly. I think that may have just wrong-footed Azrin slightly, but he found the right place. We've seen some smashes not find the right place this match, but that one did. And again, anything in that zone for Azrin just comes back with full force, doesn't it?
And that's a great example of that will go down as an unforced error from Liu Dan, but really with the power of that smash that was coming in, there were very few options he had. Have to be world class to change that from an unforced error to a decent return.
That was a world-class net shot.
Yeah, it was.
And but the drop was out. The net shot was just exquisite. You see there, Azrin struggling. What do I do with that? Very pleased and relieved to see that one just drop out. He was under real pressure there.
So he's 3-all now. And as I said, it would be interesting to see how Darren will react to being 2 games down or 1 game down, 2-1. Azrin can pull this off. It's out. Well played by Azrin.
Yeah, just playing that one late, wondering if it was going to go out. They might have. Just leading to the error across court.
Oh, what a fantastic matchup.
Great defense from Azrin.
He's been moving really
scrambling.
well.
And again, he's under pressure, but good defense again. It's his chance to attack, not this time. Will he take this one on? No.
No, he's going to force it in.
Oh, he's got it in. Wonderful.
Well done.
Wonderful long drive from Azrin. Found its inch-perfect mark. It would have been an awkward shot for Liu Dan to play back.
It would have definitely left.
And he was hoping it went out, but it didn't land it just on the line.
That was a perfectly played shot by Azrin. Tokmo and the Kepong drummers in full force. Kepong's away kit in yellow, of course. Home kit in red. And it's the first service error we've seen. And you can see the reaction from Azrin, who is a pretty emotional guy anyway. Passionate, I should say, on court.
He just rushed that, didn't he?
Yeah, he didn't want to concede that point. Well, not like that anyway. Is that, no, that's both in, yeah.
5-all.
That could have been 6-4 had that service gone his way.
Yes, Azrin just getting caught there at the front of the court. So I'm talking about his movement is still not really, I think, where he would be happy with. A little bit naive to stand so far forward, and easy in the end for Liu Dan just to push it past him into the corner.
As you can see, just that extra step he's taking left and right. As he's still figuring out which shot's coming towards him. not in control of the points. Darren's definitely in control of the points.
Yeah, Lou Darren anticipating well, just waiting for that lift down the line.
And as you can see, he's managed to limit Azrin smashes to just 3. Right now the smash count 8-3 Darren's way. Well, it was a really nice return.
Yes, I really haven't, in Kopiko Purple League, I haven't seen a better backhand smash than Lou Darren's in any of the players. He just somehow pulls it out the bag when you least expect it. Real venom on that shot.
You can just see in the way that he tracks back, especially, it's just that little jogging motion on the tip of the toes as he moves back there. 3 or 4 steps, which sets him up so nicely for the jump, and that's what's missing from Azrin's game.
Actually, Lou Darren is really finding his range on his drop shots. You saw a couple of times that when he gets them tight and fast, it just really forces quite a high lift from Azrin. He has to go up. And Lou Darren is quite effective at getting into position and jumping and bringing it down at a steep angle.
It's a good game for him so far. He's done really well. Facing extra pressure from Azrin, but he still managed to craft out a 3-point lead.
Service over. 6-8.
I feel that Lou Darren's had the better passage here, but in giving that point away, is that a lack of concentration from him?
Yeah, it could
Still a long way to go in this match. He's got the initiative, but it's only 2 points different between the two players at the moment. And again, the high lift punished effectively.
And again, that tracking back, that little jogging back movement before, which I'm sure we'll see here. Look, just 1, 2, 3, 4 with the feet up and boom. And if you look at the way Azrin's moving, well, his feet are very flat on the court.
I have to say, I wonder if Azrin will be able to keep his energy in this match towards the end.
Especially if it goes to 5.
Already looking a little bit tired, and Lou Darren is moving much more efficiently around the court, more compact.
Yeah, as I
and
said,
that takes its toll as the game wears on.
You can see that in his footwork, just the way Darren's feet, he's always just before the shot, he's set up nicely, but between each point, the feet are always moving. It's almost like a footballer when you're with the ball, when you're running with the ball, you have like a half step that you take. When you're off the ball, it's full steps. And that gives you a lot more control to stop. That's the main thing. So that or lunge. So really it is just down to errors, but he's got 3 game points here, make that 2.
He's going for the winner, trying to close out the game, but didn't work on that occasion. Darren got 2 more chances before Azrin has caught him up.
He's done well. Azrin has forced 15 unforced errors from Lou Darren already, but still on the brink of taking a 2-1 lead. Which means he's converted the points he's needed to convert, and that's one of them. 11-8.
11-2.
So we have we've talked a lot in this match about how effective Azrin has been on the attack, but in that 3rd game, Lou Darren actually very effectively nullifying the chances for Azrin to get behind the shuttle, and in the same time creating his own attacking opportunities, and he's showing that he can be just as effective. Some very powerful and precise smashes. The previous games were missing a little bit, I feel, from Lou Darren, but
he's
found his
raised
mark
it now.
in this 3rd game,
so
yes.
He's realized Azrin's a little bit more dangerous than his previous opponent, Alan Tai. Again, just a reminder, 9 unforced errors, 49 points, I think it was, against Alan Tai. Clinical dismissal here. Azrin has managed to force 15 unforced errors from Darren already. But even with that nullifying effect that you were talking about, Donald, has meant that when the key points have turned up, Darren's converted them. He's 2-1 up. And that game took 10 minutes. So if you can do it again, know, when you have a player that's playing like that, then it doesn't matter how good you're playing. And Azrin has been putting in a very good game so far. It's just his movement has been shown up.
Yes, I think Lu Dan's really exploiting his weaknesses in movement and court coverage. I mean, he's able to cover the court, but it's just that little bit of off balance. Occasionally he can be caught short at the front and forced into difficult positions where he has to give defensive lifts.
And again, if you really do just focus, next time we get a replay of you down, just look at those pink shoelaces of his and you focus on how his feet are moving. Just before he has to take the shot, he's solid as a rock. There and there. But between each of those, just a little tiptoe to make sure that he's not. And in the same way, if you look at Azrin's yellow laces, very flat every time. Flat, flat, flat. So when he's caught off balance, when he has to take those shots. So there was just 3 of them.
Service over. 2-1.
This is, again, some unexpected errors from Lu Dan. He's plagued a little bit.
Well, that 17 hasn't been specifically called for Azrin. There have been a few outright winners that he has missed. He didn't miss that one.
Service over. 2-all.
Azrin maybe thinking he could flick serve again like he did towards the end of the first match, I think. First game, sorry.
Yeah, that worked well, that perfectly. In fact, that was game point.
Almost expecting it that time.
Easily done.
Yes.
3-2.
Real power and sharpness going down at a steep angle and just very awkward place to return with any control.
And again, just by doing that, by playing either the left, the most left point, then the most right point in the court, it's really forcing or asking questions about the movement of Azrin when he was jumping up there to settle himself a millisecond before he started moving.
And as you would expect from Lu Dan, such a trained player, he can have some really classy shots when he's able to fire them.
So there's a high lift, but it's deep, returns it. Beautiful play. That's fantastic.
Well, yeah, I'm not sure. He looks up and there's no lights up there, but something must have perhaps put him off balance. Sometimes when you're playing that type of slice shot and you're not quite in the right position at the back of the court, you maybe step a bit forward, it's a little bit more awkward. But so umpire allowing the reserve, but warning Lu Dan he has to hurry up between the points.
Yeah,
I think that's fair enough. Next time you lose a point.
That's the kind of umpire intervention we saw on Thursday as well.
Service over. 4-3.
Again, Azrin being really effectively contained by his opponent. You sort of feel that
the best word, contained.
Lu Dan is playing a great controlling game, and really he's winning or losing it at the moment. If he's attacking and missing, then it gives a point to Azrin, but when he hits his mark, he's in control.
That's exactly it. He gets a new shuttle from our service judge, Ian Spear. 4-3 up in the fourth, 2-1 up. Again, that lift played just behind Azrin. So instead of getting into that smash action you see there, best is going to come back with is a drive. That was too high. But that unforced error count is now not being forced by Azrin. It's being allowed by Darren. That's 19-14. Entirely different game. That's better from Azrin. But it's class from
Darren. It's gone in, yes. Again, Azrin having the chance to attack from the back of the court, but electing to play long. And eventually just running out of shots. Good movement from Darren across.
Yeah.
And putting his shoulder behind that powerful smash down the line.
Now this could be the beginning of, in this first match of the tie, a huge battle between Kepong and Puchong, because there are a number of areas. Chong Wei Feng versus Tanonsak on some Wunsuk. That should be interesting. Tanonsak had, by his standards, a weaker game on Thursday, came through 3-1. So he was happy with his first game, but Chong Wei Feng, on the other hand, had, well, a less stellar game, but still came through 3-1. So that's the next men's singles. That'll be the 5th match. And then Darren Isaac and Tanak Kwan, who came through 3-2 in the end. A marathon match on Thursday night. They'll be playing again as the last match of the tie. As we see yet another, and that's exactly the kind of error which I was talking about. That wasn't forced by Azrin.
No, that should have been straightforward, but
so that's long. That's taken him to 20 now. He's five clear of the younger player. Expected of the younger player.
Again,
not expected.
Mistake from Lou Darren, yeah. When he played against Sonny Dwi Kuncharo, I think last week, he looked really fresh and the shots were very effective, but today, a lot of mistakes from Lou Darren.
Mistakes coming in from both players now.
7-6.
But as I said,
absolutely. Look at that net shot. Less than a centimetre over.
Said you'd expect 15 unforced errors in the 4th game from Azrin Ayub. You wouldn't expect 21 from Lou Darren. Still 1 point ahead. Quite easily launch an attack from here. He's shown enough prowess in controlling Azrin's game.
So that's a change of racket from Azrin. Will this change of racket lead to him taking control of this match?
String of points, perhaps. Well, not that time. Running out of points in this game. 8-6. Really, really wayward. At least 2 or 3 foot off.
I think that's the first time we've seen Azrin hit a smash for some points in this rally. He hasn't really been attacking. I wonder if he has a different game plan today.
He's been forced into a more defensive patterns for certain, and there's only been 3 smash winners from him. We can remember them.
Yes, that's loose. Oh, great defense.
Great return.
Yes, great defense.
Great defense.
Very loose shot. He was under pressure. And now, why did Lou Darren...
Look at that. Yeah, he must have thought that was done and dusted.
Did he slip? No, he thought it was done and dusted.
He thought it was done and dusted. He looks a bit in his shoe, but he would have been moving on the way back if he thought there was any point. That would be returned. That was a great shot.
Brilliant defense, yes.
He's still in command here, 9-7. But now, I'm sure he's not going to be leaving shots thinking, right, well, that's that done.
That's wild, yes, out. It's a long way out.
And there's Azrin. That very passionate side of him coming out again.
Well, he certainly has not been able to dominate his opponent in Lou Darren as he has done against other opponents in singles matches.
So 3 match points. One of them down though. Based on the unforced error count, not out of the question that Azrin can pull this back. He's got to do it well though. Again, there's that movement, the difference in movement between the players, and that's in the end.
Yeah.
So that's the end of the match.
Asrin on his knees looking skyward because that was beautifully finished by Liu Darren in the end.
It really was.
He had too much class, too much quality. Despite making a lot of errors, he controlled from the second game onwards.
That's right.
And finished with great effectiveness.
And as you can see, a little chat there from Asrin to the line judge.
Yes.
Go on, mate. Come on.
Maybe asking his manager.
Come on.
Sam, what do I do against that?
So 3-1.
Great try.
3-1. Puchong take a lead in the tie. A tougher game, definitely, and I'm sure that's what Liu Darren's going to say. He's on court right now with JD.
All right, down here on court with the winner of the men's singles match, Liu Darren picking up a 3-1 win. First set. I know a lot of the fans are wondering what happened. You didn't seem like you were getting into the game in the first set.
Yeah, I was quite tense in the first set, especially when I was trailing 7-0. In the end, I lost. But in the second game, it was better. So, yeah.
And then, to win it, it took a while. Were you surprised by the way he played? What was it about his game that just kind of surprised you a bit?
No, I'm not surprised actually because we train every day together. So I'm quite clear actually about his game. So I'm quite prepared to play him. Yeah.
But a win's a win. Congratulations, Liu Darren for Puchong United. Back to you in the Ibercourt commentary box.
So Noor Azrinayev may have been unknown to a lot of us all watching on TV, but a sparring partner before for Liu Darren, so a little bit easier. But I'm sure that on a few of these points, like that one, that Darren was a little bit shocked that his sparring partner was coming with such venom.
Yeah, we're wondering why Asrin went off the boil from an attacking perspective.
Yeah.
We feel maybe that he got a little bit tired, and you sometimes find that with the younger players. They don't have the stamina to last the game, but also we saw a lot more control from Liu Darren, just preventing the attacking opportunities.
Exactly, and if your game is based on just smashing, as I said, this is what he did. He'd lift to back court, so Asrin is really forced by body position alone into just a few shots. And here, that's a classic example of just
yes,
wrong
and that's a good example of, I would say, something of the loose movement of Noor Azrin, finding himself in a step behind and then being wrong-footed on the final smash.
You can see there, that was a good example of how whenever the shot gets played right at the end, really solid footing underneath the player. As we look at the statistics, better unforced errors from Noor Azrin in the end, so...
Not often you see a winning player with more unforced errors in Kopiko Purple League.
And that really is about just winning the key points that you need to win at the time and not dragging out each game. But you still dominated at the net. Smash winners in the end, picked off nicely. So let's get to our second match. Yang Lilian, who lost her last match against the Chinese player Yang Peiji, against Lim Chu-sian, who came through in the end in her last match. 3-1 against Yip Hui-yin, the higher-ranked Hong Kong player. That was an upset, 11-9, 6-11, 11-10, 11-10.
Yes, this is an interesting encounter. Both national team mates, and Yang Lilian on paper the favorite, but she had a difficult game, as you say, a couple of days ago. And
one of the interesting things, we're about to hear from the managers on court, one of the interesting things that Irina Inepsevsova has said about Lim Chu-sian is that she's her own worst enemy. Let's see if she says that again. She's on court with Samuel Nason and JD.
All right, down here with the managers before the start of this particular match. So with Samuel Nason first on Kepong, BC, what's the plan today? What is Lilian's strategy?
This is a teammate. There's no need to give her an additional strategy. She plays her almost every day in training. They train together. They are very familiar with each other's game. So, and Lilian wins most of the time. So, I'm really hoping that she could bank on those victories to come and pull off something here.
Thank you so much, Samuel Nason from Kepong, BC. Over to Puchong United boss Irina Inezemtseva. Chu-sian, dropped a set against Nusajaya. The other day you mentioned her biggest enemy is herself. Have you worked on all this, her focus and all that?
With Chunxian, as I said in the last match, she is the biggest opponent. So we had some motivation for her, that she just believe herself and just to play, to enjoy the game, and to try to win.
Thank you very much. Managers, back to you, the Ibercourt commentary box.
Again, that same comment coming out that Lim Chu-san is her own worst enemy. Well, can tell you in terms of their stats that Chu-Xian has played 5 matches, 3 singles, wins, 2 losses, with 11 games won and 11 games lost. Lilian has played 4 matches, and that's 2 singles, 1 lost, 2 singles, games 9, 1, and has lost 16. So be interesting to see where both of these players turn up. It's 3-1 in the tie. So this second match is going to be important to see who sets the tone for the tie, with all these big names coming up later on. Andrea Distia, Vita Marissa back in the game. And that's such a strong mixed doubles combination for Kepong. Then, of course, Tan Boon Kong in the final men's doubles. Tanonsak Sansubunsuk, Marquis Kido, Agrippina Prima, all still to come just in this tie before we get to the 7 p.m. ties. We look at Stephen Ong in the umpire chair. And Nawahid Mohammed Munja in the service judge area. Well, let's get this game underway, see where we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, on my right, Puchong United BC, represented by Lim Chu-Xian. And on my left, Kepong BC, represented by Yang Lilian. Kepong BC to serve, level, play.
An interesting matchup that will decide the tone of the tie after a 3-1 lead taken by Liu Darren in the first singles.
Good. Service over, 1-0.
Oh, lovely net shot from Yang.
2-1.
Yeah, she was pretty much blasted off the court by this relative unknown Yang Peiji in her last match. She'll be looking to get back on winning ways.
So far, Yang dominating the early exchanges with some great movement play, and then just intercepting at the